We can benefit you with a sponsorship, whether that's your personal brand or your business. Hit me up at MarkRogersTV at Gmail. We've got Pat Murphy on the line, Bucknuts 247 Sports. And I got to say, Pat, that many of the incompletions, I don't want to say many, but there were several that Kyle McCord in particular threw that I could point straight to a pass breakup, where on the replay, I thought Kyle McCord threw the ball on time and he threw the ball effectively. It was on target, but hey, this is when you want to see an incomplete pass in a spring game, that there was an actual pass breakup, wasn't a drop, wasn't a bad throw, wasn't a hurry throw because of a leak at the offensive line position, but an actual pass breakup. And I think more so than anybody else, Denzel Burke actually stood out to me, because even when he didn't make some pass breakups, there were some throws off target because he blanketed the receiver, and you could tell the quarterback just kind of threw it somewhere where he tried to get it in there, but there was no way because Burke was right there.
Yeah, Ohio State's official stats have 10 pass breakups. Denzel Burke does have one of them. We heard all spring, we saw some of it when we were there, that we heard a lot. Guys getting hands on balls. We saw a few interceptions by members of the secondary, which is certainly a positive because no one in the secondary last year had an interception for Ohio State, which is shocking to me, but that happened. So this is what you want to see from a defense, especially going against two quarterbacks that don't have a ton of experience. I think, again, if CJ Stroud were out there in practice, it'd probably be a little different. But I also think that this defense is taking strides in the secondary in year two of the Jim Knowles scheme. And let's remember, a lot of those guys dealt with injuries last year. Lathan Ransom was coming back from a broken leg in the Rose Bowl, wasn't expected to even be available at the start of the season, wasn't going to be the starter over Josh Proctor, took that over pretty quickly. So you had a new guy in Tanner McAllister stepping in, even though he knew the Jim Knowles defense. He'd not played in the Big Ten before. So, look, I think that, I don't want to make excuses for the defense having its struggles last year. I think that there are reasons that it was understandable, based on all of the above. So going into year two, you expect steps to be taken. And Denzel Burke told us after the game, they trust this defensive scheme more in heading into year two. There's a comfortability with what they're doing in the secondary. And it wasn't just Jim Knowles who was a new coach. I've said this before. You had both secondary coaches as new coaches, which means they're not only working with guys for the first time, but they're working within the Jim Knowles scheme for the first time. And they're trying to, make adjustments and things to fit what they all need to do. So there is certainly, as Ryan Day put it, reason for optimism when it comes to the defense and the secondary in particular. You saw some of that in the spring game. We heard and saw, some of those of us who were able to be there saw some of that. So positives for sure from a group that did not play up to the level you hoped last season.
Real quick, Pat, back to the quarterbacks. Is there any projection on when Devin Brown will be able to throw a football?
Yeah, he said after the game he's supposed to be out 4 weeks. So if we assume he had the procedure last week, which is my understanding, he'll be back, here in about a month or so, less than a month now. So yeah, it has never sounded serious. This is entirely speculation on my part, but say this is the season and Devin Brown's your starting quarterback. I wonder if this is something he could have managed through without having a procedure. If you needed him to be out there, that's just conjecture. No one's told me that or anything, but the way that they've talked about it and it being minor and whatnot, it is on his throwing hand. So, maybe it would have caused some issues, but this is the luxury of having this time of year where, if something does happen, you can get it taken care of. But yeah, he should be back soon before they start summer workouts and certainly be back throwing by fall camp. No problem.
Pat Murphy, Bucknuts 247 Sports. Get on over there. Check out Pat's work. It's excellent. And that's why we've got him on here as much as possible. Pat, we appreciate you stopping by.
Absolutely. Thanks, Mark.